Hi, it's Katy Mackenzie, your host of I Love Vancouver Real Estate and Mortgage Professional with TMG The Mortgage Group. Here today with Ben Neumer. He's a Senior Business Development Advisor for Western Canada for Breakfast Clubs of Canada. Ben, welcome, and thank you for taking the time to come and meet with me this morning.
And thank you so much for having me.
I just wanted to take a moment to talk to all of our listeners and say, why do we have you here today on the podcast? How does that relate to real estate in Vancouver? So basically what we wanted to tell the world about was Breakfast Clubs of Canada, as well as how we as brokers give back to the communities, basically, that we help people move into and live in. So tell us a bit about yourself and who you are, what you do, and about Breakfast Clubs of Canada.
Sure. So I've been with the Breakfast Club of Canada for about 4 years. My role has changed a little bit in the past 4 years. Before we get into that, I will talk a little bit about what we do. Breakfast Club of Canada is a national organization dedicated to providing a nutritional breakfast in schools all across Canada. The sad reality is that children in our own backyard, right here in Vancouver, from Victoria to the Maritimes, are going to school hungry. The Breakfast Club of Canada looks to alleviate that and make sure that every single student across Canada is fed a nutritional breakfast.
I think that assumption is that when you're seeing, West Side Vancouver properties going for $3 million, that these kids are going to school fed. Yet, 3 blocks away, those kids are going to class in the morning without food and all day without food.
Yeah, it is. Who knows when they had their last meal? And so what we do is we start these breakfast programs, work closely with the school district to make sure that we offer a safe environment for these students to come into class and to have a nutritious meal. We work with nutritionists across Canada to make sure that we hit 3 of the 4 major food groups to make sure that they're nourished before school and ultimately they're ready to learn in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know we partnered with Breakfast Club of Canada, and we did one of those breakfast mornings where we went in and made smoothies for the kids in one of the local communities. But it wasn't actually inside the school. It was in the community center just adjacent to the school. Mm-hmm. How often do you do those? What are they like? Do you do them across the country?
Yeah, so we work with many different partners across Canada, individuals, foundations, organizations. There's a saying that they say it takes a village to raise a child, and we're working with the Breakfast Club, it's really true. It's a collective effort. The school, with the principals, the teachers, everyone gets together and makes sure that up to 150 kids perhaps are fed a nutritional breakfast in the morning. So because we work so closely with partners, we give them an opportunity to come volunteer to help feed the children breakfast in the morning because we need it. The Breakfast Club of Canada, we're a lean team and we raise money, we raise partnerships, in-kind donations with some food partners to make sure these kids are fed.
So how do you create those partnerships? Where do they come from?
It's all up to me in Western Canada. Yeah, so, you got to think about what we do. We feed kids. We're in schools. We believe in education. I think everybody believes in the same thing. So as there is many causes out there that people believe in, I think this is one that really resonates with people. So whether it's working the network we have, whether it's having partners like TMG open up doors for us, having fundraisers across Canada. You guys are TMG is so great in mobilizing and engaging all representatives across Canada, and it's pretty special what we have with the Breakfast Club and TMG.
Mm-hmm. I know my experience in that morning was exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
You have these little kids coming up to you and tears in their eyes, tears in my eyes, and they just say thank you
Mm-hmm.
for feeding me breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause
What's so amazing about these little kids, first of all, I always say these children, 5 years old, coming to school hungry, are they really responsible for the families they're brought up in? And the answer is no, they're not. And so when they come in and they're trying new foods and you're able to witness them try strawberry for the first time. Last year I watched a 6-year-old bite into a strawberry for the first time. Are you kidding me? It was just, it's magical. It really is. So it goes beyond breakfast. It's more than just a program. It's a place for them to engage with other students, see their teachers on a different level. The principal will come in and engage with them. And I always tell these programs to have the staff coffee in these breakfast programs. So the staff has to come in and pour their coffee and see the kids on a different level, and it's a great experience. And I really encourage everyone to come out and see these programs and see how necessary they are in the community.
Yeah, I think eyes open, going and experiencing it for yourself. If you're going to invest in real estate that is extraordinarily expensive, why aren't you investing in the future generations that are going to continue to build the communities in which we already live in and support us in our old age, right?
Yeah, and it really truly has been a compliment to TMG and your efforts on, I think, on a business level as well, by having these volunteers come out and engaging your staff and making sure that they see what's going on in the community as well. I mean, this morning alone, what was a Friday morning, we fed almost 200,000 children across Canada. And you know what? A lot of that is in part to these partners we have, such as TMG.
Yeah. I know that it's easy for us to be able to donate. I know we have options through payroll deductions at all of our events. We have that option to go into prize draws for doing a donation at our Christmas party. It was the first thing I did when I walked in down the stairs, made a donation to Breakfast Club of Canada.
And that's the culture that TMG is breeding, and also a lot of other organizations. I mean, we have real estate companies calling and asking how they can get involved, so it's really important that companies do get involved on a philanthropic level.
Yeah. What is the commitment if someone's going to partner and launch it as a part of one of their focuses for giving back to their communities?
Sure. So $1 equals one breakfast. So if you have a loonie in your pocket and you want to make a donation, that one loonie will provide a child breakfast in need. $5 will provide a full week of breakfast to a child, and $20 will provide breakfast for a month for one child. And because there's on average 165 school days in a year, you'll feed one child for a full school year. So we try to make it tangible that way. We try to make it economical that way. Let you know how far the dollar truly does travel.
Can people volunteer time if they don't have the financial ability to donate?
Yeah. Time, absolutely. They can, open up doors for us if they know people, if they want to get involved in any capacity whatsoever. I mean, we're always open to talk and engage and collaborate.
I think those introductions are key too, because a lot of people say, I support X, Y, and Z, and because it's closest to what's happening in my personal life right now, but I do have time, or I would like to introduce you to someone over here in one of my other networks because I want them to know about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what really, that's what business is giving people that opportunity to get involved in some way and to lend themselves. And that's what we do at the Breakfast Club. I mean, we engage with so many different people, all in an effort to find ways and find solutions to reach these children that we haven't yet reached.
Is there anything else other than sort of that fundraising piece and providing the breakfast that Breakfast Club is involved in?
I always say we're the professionals in breakfast. That's what we do. We're the pros. Yeah, we've got a wait list right now of schools that we haven't reached across Canada. And the next 3 years, we're looking to open these programs, meanwhile sustaining the current programs that we're in. So there is a lot to do, of course, but we are definitely fixated on reaching the children we haven't yet reached.
How do schools approach you? How are they informed of the program, the availability?
Sure. So we have an extensive grant application. We need to make sure that we really understand the realities of some of these communities. Before I moved into a partnership role, I was a coordinator. So I used to fly up and down the province, and I would go into some remote communities, some flying communities that I never knew existed. And it was just like, oh my goodness, like this there's life here, there's people here, there's children here who are hungry, and sometimes they're forgotten. And that shouldn't be the case. So I really sort of became humbled by these experiences before I moved into this partnership role to witness what I'm going to call poverty here in Canada. Yeah.
Concerning the wait list, do schools ever come to a point where they ask, we don't need help anymore. Allow this service for someone else.
Yeah.
Or does it just take more fundraising efforts to be able to bring in more schools?
Both. Yeah, both. We get calls all the time asking, how does this work? Can we get a program started next month? It's like, if it was up to me, absolutely, you need it, but we need to put them and prioritize these communities that we reach. And then it's up to people like me and my counterparts to go out there and raise the necessary funds to pump back into the school district or the school themselves.
Yeah. So do you have any events coming up? Any fundraising events?
We just had our Western Canadian major fundraising event at Mission Hill Winery in Kelowna.
Oh, fantastic.
We have an ambassador by the name of Carey Price. For those of you that don't know who Carey Price is, he's arguably the best goaltender in the world, plays for the Montreal Canadiens, and he loves the Breakfast Club. mean, he grew up just north of Williams Lake in Anaheim Lake, and we have a breakfast program there because of it. And he's a major champion of the club. And so we hosted a great event at Mission Hill. We raised some money for the clubs in the BC area. And then the following day, we actually had a golf tournament, which complemented the night before to acknowledge and recognize some of the partners that were there. So that was our major event. But there's lots of good stuff happening with the Breakfast Club. There's always events coming up, and we have major social media efforts, and that's how people can find out about.
I think I did see a photo of Carey with Debbie and Grant Thomas, our TMG broker partner owners.
Definitely. I pulled Carey aside and I made sure that Grant and Debbie got a picture with them. So yeah, he's a great guy, and he's easy to engage and to bring in, and he definitely supports us, which is great to have people like that around us.
So if people do want to get involved, how should they approach you or connect with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're downtown Vancouver. That's where our Western office is. We're www.breakfastclubcanada.org is our website. And, look us up. We're at 604-685-2220. And call us, give us a shout if you want to get involved in any capacity. If you want to just learn more about what we do and how you guys can help these children in need, please do give us a call.
So you have up-to-date totals of what TMG's been able to provide and how many meals that sort of equates to. Yeah. I know we've got stats online as well. You can see all the partners that are involved with Breakfast Club of Canada online. But I know I was looking at a total of about 110 online, but you've just told me it's actually more now.
It is more because of all the summer events and the golf tournaments across Canada, and the generous donation from Grant and Debbie at the event last week with Carey Price. We're close to $200,000 donated in the past about 3 years from TMG.
That's awesome. I'm kind of thinking, though, if we have a platform here, a podcast here, that we should do a call out and an ask for our listeners. But I don't know how to throw it out and what to ask. What do you think?
We can have fun with it. We could do something fun and try to engage and maybe have a friendly competition. But I'll certainly put some thought into it on how we can engage your listeners. I like that, and I'm sure the kids would too.
We can put that out when we roll out the podcast on the Facebook page. Okay. We can put some links out and a challenge out. But I would recommend everyone to at least have a look through the Breakfast Club of Canada website, read about it, come out with me to one of the breakfasts and volunteer, make breakfast for kids who go to school hungry and therefore can't learn and grow as into adults to contribute into the communities that we're trying to build in a life. So
they're the next generation.
Pull that loonie out of your pocket.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe these children will be working for you one day, and they need to be well nourished and be able to concentrate in class, before they make that jump into middle school and high school and ultimately, hopefully, university. And then work for TMG.
Of course. Best firm in the biz, right? Exactly. Before we go, is there anything else we should know about Breakfast Club of Canada or you?
Yeah, just we might be a lean team here in Vancouver, but we're reaching thousands of children. We're in over 1,400 programs across Canada. I mean, we have presence in Victoria, in the Maritimes, many areas of where people operate, including TMG. I know that you guys have offices in Kelowna now, and of course in Victoria. So we have programs just a stone's throw away from where you are right now at your desk. And these kids are going hungry, and you should definitely reach out and let me know how you guys would like to help or can help. And we're always open to listening to new ideas and collaborating on new initiatives.
Well, that would be another call out. And new initiatives come forward, new partnerships, new initiatives. Let's ask that of our listeners.
Let's feed every Canadian child.
Fantastic.
They need it.
Well, I want to thank you for your time. I know time is valuable these days, but coming to talking to me, I thought it was really important that we highlight who Breakfast Club of Canada is, because until I was with TMG, I didn't even know that they existed.
It's true.
So
everyone thinks it's a movie, and it is, but it's also a national organization.
A great one at that, but depending on your age.
It's interesting. We've been in Western Canada for almost 10 years now, and about a few years ago when I started, people had no idea what the Breakfast Club is, and now it's like, wait, I think I do. You guys are in schools. You guys feed Canadian children, and it's important that we keep growing that awareness and recognizing that Breakfast Club of Canada is an organization who is part of the solution.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in this morning.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
And I'd like to be back.
And to all of our listeners, make sure you wait for the drop of the podcast and our challenge for donations. We'll come up with something off air and throw it out. So make sure that you wait for that. And thank you for listening. I'm Katy Mackenzie, your host of I Love Vancouver Real Estate and mortgage professional at TMG The Mortgage Group. Hope to hear you listening again.